Party Light, for allowing me the honor to speak to this dynamic, amazing, and successful group of business people. You guys rock! Being here at conference can give you that cutting edge, that energy, that spark that y'all came here hoping to find for your business, if you allow it to happen. If you all do just one little thing over the course of the next few days, your life in the next week, the next month, and the next year could look entirely different than it does right now. If you knew that there was just one little thing that was holding you back from living your biggest, best life, would you want to know what it was? Yes? Okay. Well, it's that one little thing that I'm here to speak with you about. You know, we're all here at conference, myself included, in the hopes that we will hear, see, or do something that's going to ignite the passion within us that will make the ultimate difference in our business, enrich our lives, and give us what we all want. But no one here can give that to you. They can only spark the beginning of that one little thing. And it's that one little thing that we're all seeking, the holy grail of life, the most sought-after feeling in the whole wide world, happiness. Happiness for each of us means something very different. For some of us, it's time with family and friends. For some, it's freedom, independence, flexibility. For some, it's what we can give to those most important to us, our family and our friends. For all is a sense of peace within us. But one thing's the same amongst us all. We all want it. Well, why are we not all bursting with happiness, excitement, and energy all of the time? Well, it's because of this one little thing that I want to talk to you about that we fail to take the time to do. So I want you to ask yourself, have you ever felt bored, stagnant, depressed, or defeated? Maybe things just didn't go your way. I'm going to ask those of you that have been around for several years if you've ever said or thought, I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it. I know this, nothing new here to learn. Or, this is just not working. Well, then let me ask you this. What were you excited about at that point in your business? What were you working towards? I'm going to guess that the answer is nothing. Now, remember back to a time in your business when you were excited, you were so incredibly jazzed, nothing could stop you. Was it when you booked your first shows or were working towards Bright Start? Was it when you were working towards unit leader, a trip, or an annual recognition category? Was it when you were promoting someone to a leadership position? I know the most jazzed I've ever been is when I promoted to regional vice president and when I promoted a regional vice president. No matter what it was or where you are, I am now going to guess that working towards that goal gave you some sort of fulfillment. It meant something to you that, yes, simple as it sounds, gave you happiness. That is called having a goal. Having a goal is the one little thing that can mean that next month, next year, next 5 years looks entirely different than it does right now. It is the only thing that can give you your biggest, best life. A goal can inspire you, but it can also overwhelm you, especially if it's the same goal you've set time after time and it didn't come to fruition. Well, then ask yourself, why didn't a goal get achieved or even set in the first place? Well, you know, there can be a few scenarios that impede your goal setting, and I want each of you to try and identify with one of the following scenarios. Which one is impeding you in your pursuit of happiness? So the first scenario is, we're just not sure what it is will make us happy. Anybody relate? No, nobody, just me. If you identify with this scenario, well, the first step is to do some introspection. Think about, when are you at your happiness? What must you have in place to get more of that? More time? More money? Better health? A different environment to live? Find what makes you most happy. That's the first step in creating a goal. Then ask yourself, how can my Party Light business support me in achieving more of that? What can you achieve in your business that will bring you more times when you're at your happiest? Perhaps the two overlap. The most powerful exercise I've ever done to help me determine long-term goals is the one I want you all to do right now. So grab your papers and your pens. Even if you do, in fact, know what it is you want, this is still a powerful exercise. I want you to write down a list of the names and ages of the people that are most important to you. Make sure you're the first person on the list. The other names may be your children, your partner, your parents, your friends, grandparents, anyone that's most important to you in your life. Now, write down how old they will be 1 year from now. In this next year, is there something that you can support them with, either with time or money? What will be happening to each of those people in your life in the next year? Will you personally be living in the same state of finances, the same home, the same city? Now, beside that age, write down how old each of you and your most important people will be 5 years from now. In 5 years, will you still be living in the same state of finances, the same home, driving the same car? Will there be events happening to you and those important to you that you can support? Will a child be starting school, graduating, getting married? Will you be going to school, getting married, retiring? Will your parents be going into a home? 10 years from now, does your life look exactly the same as it does today? When I first did this activity, my son Brad was 13. I was so good in rehearsal. And 5 years from then, he was going to go to university. And that was my wake-up call, that I better start taking my business and my goals more seriously. Because at the time, I had $40,000 in student debt, and in 5 years from then, I wanted to support Brad financially to graduate university debt-free. So I made the decision to be an RVP so that in 5 years, I could go from the $40,000 I was earning as a district leader to the $100,000 I wanted to earn, enabling me to pay off my debt and start supporting Brad's education. And that seems like a big goal, but when you break it down over 5 years, it's simply $12,000 increase each year. I felt such a great sense of accomplishment to have achieved that goal for myself, for my son, and for all the people that I helped along the way to achieve their own goals, because that was the way to achieving my goals. It gave me a sense of fulfillment, a feeling of happiness. Now, how can you, in your business, get what you want for yourself and those most important to you a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? The second scenario is, we know what would make us happy. We have set a party-like goal, but we're unsure how to get it. How many of you are in that scenario? Not having a goal causes disbelief. We will not allow ourselves to have what we really want because we just don't believe we can cause it. We tell ourselves that we need the knowledge first. Then it would be possible. Well, that's backwards thinking. It's the belief that we need first. And when we believe the possibility of a bigger life, the knowledge to support the goal will come. The people who have the knowledge are just waiting for you to believe, and then they'll appear. Ask yourself, is this life possible for others? Are there examples here at this conference of what I want? And if there is, then it's also possible for you. And anyone here would tell you the same. Find the people that believe it's possible for you and feed from their belief in you. There's so many examples I have of people believing in me in a time when I wasn't sure or if I was capable. And most importantly, I wasn't sure if I was deserving of a bigger, better life. I remember sitting beside SRVP Angie Carrier at the leader session at conference in 2002 and being awestruck by her, only to later find out she had given me her RVP flowers. Wow, Angie Carrier believed in me. Now I count her as one of my most trusted friends. I remember when Debbie Richardson came up to me at one of our special leader retreat trips to tell me she recommended me to speak at conference. Wow, Debbie wanted to hear what I had to say? Now Debbie's been to Thunder Bay, and I mean true T-Bay style. And of course, when Louise Adrian mentioned me on my journey to becoming an RVP, I thought, why would Louise believe in me? Now she's my party-like BFF. So the question is, who believes in you? Who has told you that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are great? Are you listening? They will not only help you increase your belief and your self-esteem, but they have the knowledge you seek to own your greatness. Are you listening? The third scenario is, we know what we want. We know what to do, but we just don't do it. Who's there? Okay. There's no excitement. In that case, ask yourself, is what I want really important to me? What am I doing each and every day to remind myself of that? Am I willing to put this bigger, better life on hold any longer and everything it means to me and those most important to me? I repeatedly find myself in this scenario. The more goals you accomplish, the more you need to find new ones. The first time I found myself in this scenario was when I reclassed as a unit leader just after I had my son Trey. I just wasn't doing what I needed to do. And because I wasn't earning the income, I had to start looking for a job and daycare. Visiting a daycare was the only motivation I needed to start goal setting in my business again. The only way to stay motivated is to remind yourself of what it is you really want and why you want it repeatedly. That creates the energy and the drive needed to achieve the goal. Create a dream board. Place it somewhere you'll see it every day. Do an affirmation. Reinforce the importance of the goal by sharing it with others who are positively like-minded and will support you and hold you accountable. Post that list that you just wrote down with the names and ages of those most dear to you on your fridge. The fourth scenario is sometimes we know what we want. We know how to cause it, and it's important to us, but still we do nothing. Anybody? So ask yourself in this scenario, does this goal really challenge me? Is it something I just did before and I'm just monotonously doing again? Well, here's the fix. Set a goal that requires you to step outside of your current skill level, something that scares you. A scary goal for me was committing to growing my region outside of Thunder Bay. The first time I did this was when I decided to travel to Sudbury and I didn't know anyone there. Once the goal was set, opportunities mysteriously started to present themselves. It wasn't really mysteriously. They were always there. I just didn't see them because there was no reason to. What opportunities are you not seeing because you're avoiding setting a scary goal? Once you set this challenging goal, it's going to create this disorder within. Yuck. The disorder is this. Your dominant thoughts, what you think about the most, and the pictures you see when you think about that goal, they don't match what's really going on right now, your current reality. And you just simply cannot live in that state of disorder. You're either going to create the energy and the drive to move towards the goal, and the picture that you get in your mind when you see the outcome of the goal, or you're going to make your current reality the dominant picture in your mind, and you're going to move away from the goal to restore order. Beware of obstacles, because each one is simply a test of how badly you want something. Each obstacle is simply a lesson for you to learn, so that you'll know how to handle it better the next time. Don't fool yourself into thinking that an obstacle is a sign that a goal wasn't meant to be. You are meant to give this world the best of you. Do not deny the world your best self. The fifth scenario is sometimes we get to that place, yeah, I know what I want. Yeah, I know what to do. Yes, it's important to me. Yes, it challenges me and scares me, but here's what you get hung up. I've done this before, and it didn't work out, and I don't want to go to that place again because it didn't feel good. Anybody? Let me ask you this. How many of you have ever been in love? Did it work out the first time? Did you believe in love again? Like Cher? Was it scary? Did you love again? Possibly even better the second time, the third, the 10th? Maybe eventually you found the love of your life, the perfect partner. Good thing you didn't give up on that goal. Good thing your first love didn't determine your happiness and love for the rest of your life. And love is never the same because each time is different. The other person is different. It's the same for your goals you set in your business. Every time you do something, it's going to be different because you've had the lesson and hopefully you've learned something from it. You're a different person each time. With new goals, there's going to be new people, new circumstances, a different strategy. So you're going to need new beliefs. For example, let's say your goal is, I want to have 10 shows on my calendar. And your current belief is, nobody wants to have a show. Well, you have that belief because of past programming. You've got to match the new goal with the new corresponding belief. For example, I want to book 10 shows, and everybody wants to do a show with me. And those that don't, they're going to be the guests at those shows. So before we move on to the next step in goal setting, let's just have another look to the solutions to the many scenarios that are holding you back from living your best life. Know what makes you happy? and set a goal to get more of that. Believe first, and then the knowledge is going to come. Make it important and remind yourself every day. Set your goal higher than your current skill level. A high goal is frequently easier to reach than a low one because a low one exerts low motivational force. New goals need new beliefs. The best piece of advice I've ever received in goal setting that I'd like to pass along to you is to goal set through a goal, not to a goal. I want to book 8 shows is an example of goal setting too. Where goal setting through is I want to book 8 shows, hold 8 fantastic shows, each with multiple bookings. Another example of goal setting too is I want to promote to unit leader. As opposed to goal setting through, I want to be a successful unit leader with a large team of many active consultants that generate a ton of sales and are fun to work with. Now that you've set a goal, what's next? Check to make sure your goal is a SMART goal. This is the beginning of a well-designed goal. SMART is an acronym for S, specific. This is the who, what, when, where, which, and why of your goal. M is for measurable. When you measure your progress, you experience the exhilaration of achievement that spurs you on to the continued effort required to reach your goal. A is attainable. When you identify goals that are important to you, you begin to develop the attitudes, abilities, skills, and capacity to reach them. Goals that may have seemed out of reach eventually become attainable, not because your goals shrink, but because you grow and expand to match them. R is realistic. Your goal is probably realistic if you truly believe that it can be accomplished. To be realistic, a goal must represent an objective towards which you are both willing and able to work. And T is for timely, or Tami. It should be grounded within a time frame. So I want to share an analogy that I hope will shed some light on just how important goal setting is and how most always you are in your own way. It's a road trip. So you're going on a road trip. That's the goal, as you believe it would make you happy. The first order of business is deciding on a destination. Would you ever go anywhere if you never decided on an end destination? Or would you simply sit in your car in the driveway wishing you could go somewhere? Perhaps you'd even back out of the driveway and drive around in circles, hoping the vehicle would mysteriously appear the destination to you. Well, if we look at our scenarios, we'll need to go somewhere that makes you happy. Shopping makes you happy. Musical theater makes you happy. Great food makes you happy. Well, how about New York then? Perfect. We have a destination. Let's get in the car and go. Wait a minute. You don't know how to get to New York. What were you even thinking about entertaining this idea? You have no idea to where to even start. You're not even a good driver. That's it. Just forget it then. Go back and sit in the car. You turn on the radio and you hear a commercial for driving lessons that include a bonus GPS. Why have you never heard of this company before? Did it just open? Or was it just waiting for you to notice? Maybe this trip is doable. So you go to the school and everyone believes you can do it. They are very encouraging. You're not really sure at first whether to believe them or not, but you would like to take the road trips they've been on, and they have so much experience. So you're on the road again, and you're just about ready to go, and you remember that you forgot to do the dishes. Maybe you'll wait till tomorrow. Next day arrives, and you're ready to go when you remember you've got a dentist appointment the next Monday. You should probably just wait. Then the Monday arrives, and you can barely even remember why you wanted to go to New York in the first place. There's nothing important about shopping and musicals. I mean, they make you happy, but are they really important for you enough for you to go to New York? Maybe you should give this some more thought. Looking at the events in your life over the course of the next year, you realize that you and your girlfriend's 40th birthdays are coming up, and your friends are important to you, and you'd love to experience the Big Apple together. How memorable would that be? They agree to, so you get them in the car and you get ready to go. You have a goal, you have the knowledge, it's important, it's challenging, but you're very cautious because you once drove to Ottawa and it was a complete disaster. You had an older vehicle, you got a flat tire, no one would help you, it rained the whole time. You should probably have never gone on a road trip again. But maybe if you're more cautious this time, it'll be okay. So you decide to go 5 miles an hour. Cars are passing you, honking. So you stop at a gas station for a much-needed break, and it's such a nice, cozy gas station with a motel attached. You decide to stay there a while. While turns into a few days. A few days turns into a few weeks. You could probably stay at this gas station indefinitely. But then your friends remind you that the journey is about New York. It's not raining. You're driving a new car. Sometimes you need to just put your foot on the gas, even though it may be comfortable just where you are. So you fill up the tank and you get a tune-up because this vehicle needs attention to reach its destination. If the wheels are aligned with the car, you're going to go in the right direction. Just like when your thoughts and beliefs are aligned with your goals. So you turn on the GPS and it gives you an expected time of arrival. It will take 24 hours of drive time at a speed of 65 miles an hour. That's specific. Off you go when you encounter some road construction. Perhaps this means this trip was never meant to be. You should probably turn around and forget the whole thing. Your friends point out that there is a detour off to the left, and that this trip is truly attainable just by going a different way. So will the obstacle stop you? Or will you just drive ahead? You're almost there, and the GPS tells you to take a left to New York. You got this thing figured out. You don't need directions anymore. Forget turning left, you're going to go straight ahead. And the GPS starts annoyingly repeating, reroute, reroute. But you ignore it and just keep on driving and end up in Cleveland. Now you have to backtrack. You've lost a bit of time, but you certainly learned your lesson. You get back on the proper route, and you only have 212 miles to go when you run out of gas. Yikes! How did that happen? You sit on the side of the road contemplating, did I forget to remind myself how great this trip was going to be? Did you forget to continuously refuel? It is definitely harder to walk to the gas station than to drive there, but you do it once. You finally reach your destination. Yay! Now what? Uh-oh, did you forget to goal set through and only goal set to? Only thinking about the getting there? Or did you goal set through? Booking a hotel, buying your Broadway tickets online, bringing all your best outfits to go for dinner with your friends? Did you bring your camera to capture all the fun adventures you visualized before coming? Did you think about the entire experience and not just the getting there? Because it might not meet all your expectations otherwise if you forgot to goal set through. Oh, you did? Good for you.